Okay, well, welcome back to part 2 of fun facts about Reno Air Races that you might not know. My name is Abingdon, you are at the Abingdon Co channel, and we are here at the very last Reno Air Races. We've been going around and asking a ton of people, from some of the race pilots to some of the organizers to basically anybody that would want to be on camera with me, telling me something that they know about Reno. And we have learned so much. If you haven't seen part 1 of this video, go ahead and watch that one. They're not necessarily in any order, so it doesn't matter which order you watch these 2 videos in, but you are definitely going to learn something about Reno Air Races that you did not know before.
You are truly an avionics or an aviation enthusiast, you should be here. It's it. It's a wide range of everything, from dropping cars on the dirt. They did that before, and parachutists coming down with the flag. And after 52 years, I've seen quite a bit.
They're lining everybody up for the race. They're lining everybody up vertically and also horizontally, so they're all starting at an even pace. And then they'll release them for the race. Every airplane has its own path they have to follow. When one plane wants to pass the other one, they have to pass on the outside and pass high out around it. The Reno Air Races is awesome. It's the only place here that you can actually get up close and interpersonal with the pilots. I said I've met the Thunderbirds, Blue Angels, get to ask them questions about how they're doing things.
But this is the only event that I've ever actually met and sat and talked with Thunderbirds and Blue Angels and the race pilots who are competition pilots, they're airline pilots, and they're daily, they're professionals. Danny ran up to me because we're friends on social media, and I was telling him what I was doing, and you've got a really fun fact because you've been coming here since like the mid-'80s.
Yeah. Well, I watched one year. They had a exhibition T28 race, which they only had 1 year, and I thought it was really interesting, and I was hoping they would actually continue it, but they didn't. And there was another year, and I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe it was the inaugural Revell Air Race did a demonstration here, and they put up their inflatable pylons and had their individual time trial race during one of the Reno Air Races. Amazing. And I believe that was sometime in the early 90s. In the 70s, they had a Beechcraft stagger wing class race.
And that was only 1 year as well, do you think?
Yes, I believe it was the inaugural year. I think it was 1964. And I only know this because I saw a YouTube video of it, and they actually had in-cockpit video from one of the racers. Oh, super cool. And there was a pilot, and they had to have a co-pilot because they have such poor visibility, they had to have a spotter. Yep. So there's 3 fun facts about 3 inaugural races that unfortunately they didn't continue. Yeah, but you saw 2 out of 3. Yeah, and I was actually part of a 4th one, the stall drag racing. I was a line judge for the inaugural one here. So Miss America, the airplane behind us, has been here since...
I do believe probably since 1969. Probably the oldest racing aircraft out here consistently.
So this is the oldest consistently racing airplane at the field.
I would probably bet my bottom dollar on that.
Like
yes,
in
right
no other class. I mean,
in no other
none of the other
class,
classes
no other classes
have anything that
have
been racing since 1969. Yes. And not to say that it is raced every year.
No.
But consistently from 1969 to today, the last Reno Air Race, yes, it's raced more than any other airplane.
Oh yes, it has made a presence out here.
That's a
good
fun
and
fact.
Bad, but it has been out here, and it's wonderful.
So back in the 1980s, a gentleman named David Price was racing an aircraft called Dago Red here at the Air Races, and it was in the gold heat. And during that race, the engine gave out during the race. And so David maydeed off the course, and he couldn't see where he was going, and suddenly heard this voice, "I'm with you, David." And he looked over, and there was Bob Hoover right next to him, flying wing on him. He said, "Just follow me, I'll take you down." And so Bob stayed with David all the way down to the ground, landed at the airport. David had made a safe landing. He ground looped at the end, but he walked away from it. And that was my fun story here at Reno.
All right, so we got another fun fact, and this is Todd Nelson. And tell me your fun fact about Reno Air Races.
One of the Navy Legacy pilots recorded the fastest unofficial lap at Reno in 2007, Lieutenant Mike Turner. As I understand, it was 0.98 Mach all the way around the course. Just shy of 700 miles an hour, I think.
Unreal. And was that just like, was he just doing a fast lap just to do a fast lap, or was this in a race?
No, he was the demonstration pilot from VFA 122 at Lemoore.
Okay.
And came up, and at the end of his demonstration flight, got authorization to take a hot lap around the track.
And he went Mach 0.98.
Yeah.
There's another fun fact. The fun fact that you were telling me is what a pace plane does to get them ready for the race. So talk about that.
Yeah, so we kind of gather them up at the runway, take off, they follow us, they come into formation with us, we bring them up as we come around Peavine Mountain. We kind of make sure that they stay in line, that they don't move forward and back. And then as we get closer to the actual release line, we tell them that they have a race. At that point, we go up and we become a chase plane, so we actually then watch for any discrepancies with the aircraft, and if there's any emergencies or so forth, we actually end up helping them out, making sure they're getting safe back to the airport.
Fun fact, there's multiple courses depending on how fast your airplanes go and the type of flying that you're doing. The longest course is a little over 8 miles, whether it's the Unlimiteds, the Warbirds that are going 400 miles an hour, the jets that are going 400 miles an hour, and then there's a jet going by, F-18, doing
Like a demo.
a demo, yeah, exactly.
Okay, so this is a blast from my personal past. Dave and I used to work together when I was at Lance Air.
That's right.
And I was selling these airplanes, and you were demoing them. And you were instructing.
Yep, you got it.
So tell me what you're racing.
Sport 92 is what I'm flying. It's a Lance Air Legacy, stock Lance Air Legacy, unlike some of these other ones that are fire-breathing, twin turbocharged, 1,000 horsepower airplanes, but we're having fun. I'm in the bronze this year, and we're leading first in the bronze.
And tell me a fun fact about Reno.
When I was working for Epic Aircraft as their chief pilot, we paced the jets with the Epic. It was a nice promotional thing to do because you had a turbopop pacing a bunch of jets. And I was flying with a guy named Magic, and we ended up coming down the chute, releasing the jets, and then followed the flight down onto the race course and came off at home pylon. And when we came off at home pylon, I was like, that's probably not the best thing. So 2 FAA cars came down, and they were like, what was that? You know what I mean? And so then the next question was who was flying? And none of us said a word. And then the pilot stepped up and said, it was me. They were like, don't do that again. Basically was the end of it. But fun fact, the Epic has been on the race course.
Oh my gosh. In the jet class, you had a turboprop.
Yes.
For like a hot second.
Yes. Yeah. And we paced the rest of the week, but yeah, we were racing with the jets for a half lap.
Oh.
In my rookie year, I went around the course at 513 miles an hour and became one of the very few that have ever qualified at Reno over 500 miles an hour. And I did it my rookie year. So luck was on my side, and conditions were just right, and I made it around the course without getting disqualified. And
that's amazing.
There I am.
I just met this guy right here, Matt Moore. Matt's mother was a wasp. And you're going to tell me a fun fact about Reno Air Races.
In the history of the Reno Air Races, there is one pilot that has flown in 5 classes of air racing at Reno.
Really?
Only one. Most guys stick to just one class, or maybe two. But there's one pilot here that's flown in 5 racing classes.
Who is that?
The guy's name is Dave Morse.
That's airspeed, right? Pretty easy. That's how high you are above the ground. That's how many G's you're pulling.
And this was your fuel.
That's the fuel, right? It's called a sight gauge, kind of old school. That's where the fuel goes, right? It's insanity. It's sitting right in with you. That's the stick.
And look at this.
The red is the mixture to your left.
And you got carb heat?
Got carb heat. That's why I elected to fly this one this year. And that's the go fast button.
Go fast button.
That's the fun button.
Rat's Ride is the name of our airplane. It is a Lancer Legacy Races in Sport Class Silver.
Yep.
This is our 4th year at Reno, and it has been so much fun. I've learned so much by being a part of this group, and it is amazing what people will do to get their airplanes to go faster.
I know you guys have like 12 bottles of nitros back there, or something like that.
That's not just for us.
Oh, it's not.
It is not just for us. It is for our airplane and I think 2 others. So
Okay.
we are using nitrous this year for the first time.
Amazing.
The first fun fact that really comes to mind is I am absolutely in awe of Jeff Revell's team. He races a Glass Air 3, and he has won Sport Class Gold 7 times, and that's more than any other person has won Sport Class Gold. And I also love the fact that he is a female crew chief.
That is too cool.
So this is my first time in Reno at the Air Races, and of course everybody wants to get out here and see the Unlimiteds and see the sport airplanes, but one, I believe, gem out of all this is Formula One. They're all running Continental O200 motors, and there is a wing surface area requirement they have to meet, but you look at these wings, and even just
all different
between a couple of these, how they distribute that surface area is up to them.
Mm-hmm.
So they obviously have like G-loading factors on the airplane to take into consideration, but they have some liberty there to create a wing that performs how they want it to.
So, fun fact at Reno Air Races is the Formula One race. 1 has nothing to do with Formula One, the car race, but 2, every airplane in this class has to abide by a particular formula, and then after that, it's whatever they want to do. It's super creative, very imaginative.
It is. I feel like this is the most grassroots part of racing. I just completed my inspection authorization, which will allow me to return aircraft to service. I'm really hoping to utilize it on smaller general aviation airplanes and keep some vintage airplanes flying.
And if you don't know what IA is, like what that means, and for non-aviators who are watching this, basically she is like the authority above all the aviation mechanics. She can sign off the logs, she's like the big boss. This is a fun fact about Reno, that you hold an interesting title.
I do, yeah.
Tell me.
I'm the only paraplegic pilot that's ever raced in Reno. Just raced motorcycles and had a high-speed accident during a race, and motorcycle hit me a few times after the crash, and anyway, paralyzed, broke my back and damaged my spinal cord, and then, got into a safer sport, air racing. So I have a left stick in the aircraft that's forward and back motion for rudder, so it's right rudder forward, left rudder back. Then I have throttle there is twist, like a motorcycle. Then I have left brake on that stick. And then my center stick is normal, pitch and roll control with a right brake on it. And then this aircraft I have a mixture through the middle of it, so I can fine tune the mixture on the race course.
So you can fine tune kind of with your thumb and forefinger
Exactly.
while you're manipulating all the controls.
Exactly.
That's actually really genius. So do you have a fun fact about Reno Air Races?
We have been promised that the Air Races will be in 2025 at their new location.
What happens in 2024?
They're finding their new location.
Oh, all right.
And there's 6 communities here with roughly 36 members that are all kind of scoping out the Reno Air Races. So I guess that's my fun fact.
Well, everybody, this is it. This is the last Reno, and if you had a favorite fun fact that you found out in this video, let me know which one that you enjoyed the best. And if there was something that you found out about Reno Air Races that you didn't know about before that you learned in one of these this two-part video, then let me know which one you found, because I know that there's so much just a wealth of education with aviation enthusiasts that know a lot about aviation. Obviously, I met a ton of them in these videos. If you like this kind of stuff, go ahead and consider subscribing. It really helps us make more content like this. We do fun events like these. We do great watch videos. If you haven't checked out our website, www.abingdonco.com, we make the best watches for women who do more. Thank you so much. My name's Abingdon, and I will see you guys on the next video.